What's up, everybody? Is Make It Make Sense. We back to read this stupid ass book. Let me tell you guys before we start. At this point, I am doing this for y'all. I have never had such a hard chapter getting through of any book in my life. These ABC 1, 2, 3 Sesame Street chapters are like literally mushing my brain, but I mess with y'all. I likes y'all. You guys seem to like it because I get a lot of DMs about this book. So I'm gonna keep reading. Today I have a very special guest. I'm gonna pull him up. Sipping the Monty. What's up?
Hello.
Let me tell you guys, this dude is hilarious. If you ever just need a laugh, head to his Instagram account, which is Sipping the Monty. I do not know how to put our names at the bottom of the screen. So let's see. Solo layout. Well, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Maybe I'll scroll when I scroll my allegedly and my Cash App. I'm gonna scroll the name of your Instagram account.
All right.
So, do you follow the Real Housewives of Atlanta or Porsha's family? Doesn't matter. Do you follow it?
Yes, Porsha doesn't matter. I have watched that in spurts. I've followed reviews of it. It definitely has not done what she thought it was going to do. She really could have just stayed on the Housewives of Atlanta instead of trying to run from Kenya Moore and Marlo Hampton. She would have been much better off just exchanging shade with them than this public display of humiliation. I'm watching this like, aren't you embarrassed? This is very embarrassing. Like, it's proving everything that people have said about her. It's proving them right.
You seem like a smart man. Are you on Team Twirl?
Yeah, actually, I do enjoy Kenya Moore. I feel like she's carried and saved the show on a number of occasions. I feel like on a lot of different occasions it would have been very boring or lackluster had she not been there. And a lot of people critique her for, being an a-hole and, all of these different things, but had she not brought that, then like what would we be talking about?
I mean, look, I knew that Porsha wasn't I knew that every elevator wasn't, I knew that her elevator wasn't going to the top floor. We'll say that. But
Yes.
This book has completely lifted the veil on any semblance that she had morals, that she had any moral fiber, that she would not take somebody's man. Like this book, it's a shit show. So I'm gonna give you like a brief synopsis before we start.
Yes, please. I'm ready.
So Porsha's mom and her dad were married. They were high school or college sweethearts. Porsha let us know that her dad was the kind of guy that when he walked in the room, everybody turned and stared because he was just so attractive.
Okay.
On this channel, we do the research, and you tell me.
Oh, well, that it's giving Jerome's in the house watch your mouth. That's what it's giving. But I mean, hey, beauty is in the eye of. Why do you keep posting it and taking it back?
Because this channel is we're more shady over here.
Hey, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. If you put that picture up one more time.
I'm not. Beauty's subjective, right?
Yeah, it's in the eye, the beholder.
So if he walked in the room, would you turn around and stare?
Yes, but not not for the reasons that she's claiming. But I probably would stare in amazement. And was that and was that Mama Joyce?
Oh, okay. So that's what I was thinking. I was like, I would have thought that Mama Diane looked like maybe because she's a very beautiful woman. Like when we see her now, she's very put together. I was thinking she looked like kind of like Pam Grier. But
Yeah.
when I saw the picture, I thought she kind of looks like Mama Joyce.
Yeah. Mama Joyce was so bad from the neck down. I mean, she just got the same head she done always had.
Do you think that this was in a hotel?
It looked like she was doing a date. I mean, if we're being honest
Not
and
pulling a client.
transparent.
No, Mama Joyce has high moral fibers, unlike Porsha. So anyway, so Porsha's mother and father were together. They had 2 kids.
Mhm.
However, he cheated on Porsha's mama consistently throughout the marriage. And then he cheated on Lauren's mama, the woman he married after. He then proceeded to take his children on his dates with his other women. And Porsha told Lauren's mama about this. And so he then continued to take Porsha as a 10-year-old on the dates. But when he was going to do whatever with his dates, he would leave her in the car. So he would go to the other woman's house and leave Porsha in the car all day and send her little brother to go check on her throughout the day.
Oh, that is just, well, this explains a lot.
Does it?
She came up trifling, so trifling is all she knows. You know what I mean? Like, she didn't come up, like that's not normal. Like your dad is doing dates and leaving you in the car, whether it's hot or cold or whatever. And where is she has a brother?
Mm-hmm. The brother kept his mouth closed, so the brother was allowed inside the house.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this explains a lot. This is, I mean, this some of this tacky, trifling behavior that she's displayed. It explains. I mean, it doesn't justify it, but it explains.
So then she proceeds to how do I say this? She proceeds to tell us what a great man he was, but at the same time destroying for the reading for the reader anything that you might have felt good about her dad. After hearing this, a normal person thinks he's disgusting, but Porsha is still elevating him in her life. It's super weird. It's kind of like what she does to Dennis. You want him on to co-parent, but then at the same time you try to destroy him. You tell us that, like you put all these stories. He's a bad dad. He's this, he's that. He beat your cousin. Like it's weird. He dies when she's 16. She tells us that she went to alternative school.
She tells us what?
That she went to alternative school.
Oh.
She went to.
So she always been punching Porsha.
She doesn't tell us why she went to the alternative school, but there's an alternative school in Open City that said for kids with behavioral problems. So she's not really like putting it out there. The book is supposed to be aspirational, but it does not give you things to aspire to. It stops short of telling you why you should not follow in her footsteps. And it almost feels like she's telling the viewer that, well, I did all this and look at me now.
Yeah.
She doesn't go to college. She moves on to dating a football player who's paying her bills. She feels as though she was accepted because by the other football wives, because she had baby hairs and her weave made her look exotic.
So she said that's why she was accepted by the other football wives? The ignorance. It's the ignorance for me. What in her weave made her look exotic?
So, like I said, this channel, we do the research. I went back to her Trillville video and did a close-up, And I don't see exotic in this weave. Do you?
Oh, oh my! And where were the baby hairs?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, like I always tell people, this face that we see now, this is a new face.
So then she moves on. She buys herself a daycare. She was molding the young children's mind. Porsha.
Hold on,
Um,
tell me again.
she was buying a daycare. She bought a
Uh-huh.
daycare. That was her business,
Oh.
and a penthouse, neither of which she could truly afford. So the football player was footing the bill when she couldn't make rent. She gets pregnant. She goes to the doctor. Because she's telling all these people who she's pregnant by, first and last name. Do you go? Do you go? Do you know anybody who goes to the doctor to get a pregnancy test and says my baby daddy is such and such, such and such?
No.
But she likes to pretend as if she wasn't after the money. She didn't know who he was. It just so happens. She also tells us as a video girl, she can't remember what video she was in. She can't remember. So I'm gonna double back to that while we're reading this chapter. She don't remember what video she was in. Then
Good
we get
Lord.
to so when she announces that she's pregnant to this football player, this thick neck mother named Clinton Portis. I'm trying to
Uh-huh.
get his picture. You mean to tell me you couldn't tell that was a football player?
Ooh, that. Ooh. Oh my! Where are the teeth? Oh, it's just head and shoulders.
And Portia's knees and toes. So she dates him. He tells her, Porsha, just give me the baby. I don't want you, just give me the baby. And his mama says, take her to Maury because we don't know that it's yours. So she terminates the pregnancy.
Oh,
She
okay.
moves on to another guy that I think she called him Country John. She moves on to him. He gives her his credit card one day to, go, baby, go shopping, get yourself some shoes or something, some red bottoms. She gets herself a promise ring and the matching diamond bracelet.
Oh my.
I'm telling you, your brain will be mush. They have a bad scenario. We think that he might have, assaulted her, we'll say, but she doesn't actually tell us in the book, so it's left open to interpretation.
Uh-huh.
Next thing we move on to is R. Kelly. Now, when she was with R. Kelly, she liked to purport that they were in a relationship, although they only had 3 encounters. And he would send for her and leave her in a room for the entire day, 2 days. She may not eat. But she still feels like she is his girlfriend and she calls him Robert, not R. Kelly.
Okay.
She is in the bedroom, the master bedroom on the first visit, and she sees the picture of his wife, Andrea, and she asks him, oh, are you still with your wife? And he says, no. She says, okay, and then they sleep together.
Girl, and if he was, they would have slept together anyway because we know how this girl get down. If there's a bag on the table, there's a vag on the table. She would have definitely went on and did that. Exactly. Duh. Like.
So she goes back a couple more times. She feels as though because the family downstairs knows her name that they are dating. He then proceeds to take her to a room full of women and says we're going to a party, but it's in his house.
Mm-hmm.
She acknowledges that some of them look young, never says anything about it, but in her head, she doesn't consider herself like the rest of them because he actually kisses her on the mouth when he sees her at this party full of women.
Yeah.
He leaves the party with 2 women. And she's sent back to a room with mirrors all around and on the ceiling. She then proceeds, once he's finished with them, and the next day she sleeps with him again. Comes back for a third time, and that's when she calls it off because she could hear a physical altercation between him and somebody else, and she leaves. All the time, she doesn't feel like she's a regular video girl. She doesn't feel like she's one of these women who R. Kelly took advantage of. She's somehow better than everybody else who does the same things as her. This is what this is giving. We get to the Kordell years, and I don't know if you guys noticed, but on my thumbnail there was a picture of a lady. She calls her Brandy. That was actually his fiance. That was the woman who came on during Sheree's divorce party. Her name was like Tanya came on during the divorce party, and Nene told her to eat a burger, and she said, "Don't worry, I got room to be your size one day." That was that
Yes.
woman. That was Kordell's actual fiance and baby mother.
Really?
That was
Because
Kordell's
I heard
fiance.
something else about her.
What did you hear?
I heard that that was Sheree's little girlfriend back in the day.
And this solidified your spot on my show.
that came from a couple different sources that are pretty reliable. That I had some received some information from in my DMs that because you notice she kind of had like a you know how Sheree is like, she's a lady, but there's also like a little testosterone in there. This lady kind of like had that same kind of demeanor, and yeah, wasn't her name like Monique or something? What was her name?
Tanya.
Tanya, yeah, Tanya. Yeah, they said that was they said that was Sheree's girl. That's what the people told me.
Now, I mean, this isn't about this, but I always said, if you remember when they finally showed us Chateau Sheree, and Kenya and Candy went down to the basement, and this rather pretty lady who had kind of a butch, hard exterior said, "Sheree, them bitches is in your basement." Remember her?
Yeah.
I always felt like maybe that was Sheree's little special friend.
Sure. Like anytime that they always show us like Sheree with a man I never believe it. Like Sheree has gave me lesbian from season 1. And it's okay. Like like break a barrier, be a lesbian housewife, Like that's why nothing has ever worked out with her and a man. It's not meant to be. Like, and it's fine. Like, you'd be much more interesting if you lived in your truth. Like maybe for season 14, we'll see her ditch Tyrone and finally, cuddle up with a little piece of puss.
Oh, wait, the people know who you are.
Oh, do they? Monty is on here. Oh, thanks. I put the word out, so I put up the bat signal, so.
So then we get to Porsha. Now we stop right at the Kordell chapter. Porsha was dating Kordell, but he had Tanya, who was his fiance. They were engaged. They spent New Year's together. Porsha said that she dated Kordell. They were together for about a year. You tell me, Monty, if you were together with somebody for a year, at what point would you tell them, "I live across the street in the apartments next door to you"? I live in a condo across the street from where you live. Porsha didn't find that out for a year after they dated.
Like, as soon as I would have found out where you stayed, I'd be like, "Oh, we neighbors." You know what I mean? Like, that's like opening conversation for me, because I want to know, where do you live? Do you have a place to stay?
Unless
Like,
you're that hoe over there and you don't want them to know where you live, and we can go to your apartment to chop you down, or we can go to a hotel, but you won't ever step foot in my house across the street.
not a can you host.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So that's where we left off. So the way this works is I usually like read if something touches your spirit, stop me.
Okay.
As I'll be reading, when stuff touch my spirit, I'll stop. But yeah, definitely stop me. We will not be reading the entire chapter, just excerpts that I think
Because I think our brains will churn into jail if you read the whole thing.
I do have to read the whole thing so I can pick out the excerpts, and I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, you are really taking one for the team here.
Let's just say the Cat in the Hat and Sesame Street have more poignant references and alliteration. Okay.
Oh my god. Okay, I
Okay.
am ready.
Okay. So let me know if you
Let's
can hear me.
see what you got.
It's ruined. It's ruined. I screamed through hot tears. I didn't want to cry on my wedding day, but here we were. What am I going to do? I don't know, Lauren said honestly, looking at the 8-inch yellow stain on my 25,000 Panina Tournay ruffled trumpet wedding gown. Now, she couldn't tell you what video she was in as a video girl, but she can give you the amount, the price, the full name. And we know Porsha can't spell well of her wedding gown.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. She couldn't remember what video she was in.
Lord.
I had just taken it out of the protective dust bag, and somehow, after transferring from the bag to my body, it had gotten soiled. There's something on my dress, I said as the bridal suite's butlers came rushing in to see why I was screaming, just hours before I was set to walk down the aisle and marry Kordell, the love of my life. What is it? What is it? No one could tell me, and no one could calm me down. Not even when Lauren told me to tuck it under, girl. Let's go. You're getting married. It's not like you don't have the second dress for the reception. You'll be fine. Surely I couldn't get married with the yellow stain on my dress. I hoped deep down inside that this would later be a good luck charm, something I could look back on and laugh about with Kordell on our 20th wedding anniversary. But unfortunately for both of us, after 2 years of marriage, he'd never even hear this story. For instance, when Kordell told me that he had used his ex-fiance's ring to create my emerald cut engagement ring, I wanted to cut off my finger. It burned so bad from the faux pas. It wasn't even my style.
Okay, first off, what was the yellow stain from?
I don't know. I don't know.
And then when Kordell told her, like, okay, but she still stayed engaged, you know.
You got a used engagement
You got
ring?
a used engagement ring. Like you
Like,
couldn't come up, like you could have just ran out and got me a little band. You know, if
now
like
you know
that's an
good and goddamn
insult.
well he could not have gotten Porsha no goddamn band.
I
You could get
mean,
somebody in love a band.
I mean, rather than give me a used ring.
So she said, you know, I told you this channel, we do the research. She
Yeah,
says that this ring was not her type. It was an emerald cut engagement ring. So for, you know, people who don't know rings, this is an emerald cut engagement ring.
yeah.
Porsha has just stated that this is not even her style. However, this is Porsha's emerald cut engagement ring with Simon.
Oh my God, it's the receipts for me. Oh wow.
I told you we
So,
do research.
oh my God. Yes. I live for this. So like it's your style. Whatever wherever the bag is, that's your style, Porsha.
Oh,
Like
somebody was already on it. Miss Johnson was already on it.
but her current ring. Yes. Oh my
So
God.
yeah, we do research on. We don't play. We stay down on this here
I
YouTube channel.
see.
um, he said, "Yeah, I got a good deal in this ring." He tried to persist, not realizing the gaffe. Right, I love it. I lied. Running theme. She lies.
Yeah. Story of her
I should have
life.
I should have asked Kordell why he would even think to give me someone else's engagement ring, but I couldn't. Even though I was so far from the woman I used to be, and God had given me strength in so many areas of my life, I still wanted to do anything to please him. How could I share my truth if it meant if it meant it might hurt the feelings of the person I love. I hadn't yet learned that holding someone accountable was the very definition of love, but I'd soon learn how just to do that. I tried to fix it like I always did with things in my life. We spotted this yellow diamond ring in a random jewelry store in Atlanta that I may or may not have scoped out beforehand, and he bought it for me. So you are still spending these men's money on shit that you want, that you have plotted to get. You buying yourself engagement rings, and now you've gotten this beautiful emerald cut ring, and you're now making Kordell buy you something else that you had underhandedly already sought after. Like,
yeah, and she's putting it out here like this is my story, this is my testimony. Like, we're not gonna read between the lines, and you're just outright telling a girl.
she talks a lot about God in these last two chapters. And so, Monty's not been here. If you ever want to go pick up the book, it's in the Christian Living section at Barnes and Noble.
You're playing.
I'm not.
This is not
of the Lord.
This is a hoax. We're not even on a live stream right now. This is a parallel universe. We're in the multiverse right now. This is not in the Christian. No.
It's in the Christian Living section. So when I went and bought the book, I helped them out and advertised other books that I felt should be next to Porsha's.
Yes.
I decided to help them out.
Yes, yes, Corinne should definitely be in the Christian Living section if that's the case. Because at least Corinne turned it around and told you, well, here's how to not be like me. At least Corinne gave you that.
Right. Like I always say, I love a city girl. I love a city girl who has agency over her own body and takes accountability for what she does and lets you know who she is. Yes. I cannot stand somebody who puts this is the most dressed we've ever seen Porsha in our lives.
Yes.
And tries to pretend as if she's better or holier than thou when you've been passing out coochie coupons all over Atlanta and Washington, D.C. since you could hop on a plane and get flued out.
Yes.
Coochie coupons have been spent in Porsha.
Yeah, and beating anybody's ass who won't accept the coupon.
Oh, wait. Are you alluding to the fact that Kenny was one of those bitches who was supposed to eat her out tonight and didn't, and that's why she beat her ass?
Is that what you said? You wanted to eat my pussy till I came. Yeah.
Yes, Q, the Christian section.
Yes.
So anyway, okay. Let's go back to the book. I wish Brandy, which is Tanya, was the only hurdle we had to clear, but she was just the tip of the iceberg. I had nearly called off everything, the wedding and our relationship. It didn't matter that I had already reserved the venue, and it didn't matter that I'd already purchased my dress. He purchased the dress, this $25,000 dress. He purchased. Okay. Well, 2 dresses, one for the outdoor terrace ceremony and another for the reception. Kordell had sprung a prenuptial agreement on me close to the wedding. Without warning or even prior discussion about it, he had her lawyer draw up the terms and conditions of our marriage. In black and white legalese, Kordell made it very clear he didn't think that we were equal partners in our marriage. In legal terms, he saw me more like a housemaid. Say, hey, maid, I see you wore your maid outfit today like you always
do.
You see, Kordell didn't want me to work. He wanted me to sell my business, my daycare, which I did. He wanted me to be a kept woman, and because I really trusted him and thought he had my best interest at heart, I eventually let the daycare go. This business I had built from the ground up. He even wanted to get rid of my penthouse condo, but I convinced him it was such a great investment that I'd rather just keep it. Now, this business she built from the ground up, she let us know that she wasn't making rent nor payroll.
Yeah.
Her gentlemen callers were helping her make rent and payroll. So it wasn't like this was a viable business, just to clarify.
Yeah.
As accomplished as I was as a single woman, owning my own home and owning my own business, I didn't hold worth in that. I didn't see the true value in what I had accomplished in my 20s. Being a wife meant so much more than all that combined. Being a wife felt like my purpose. It felt like I was born to do it. I was born to embody that role. So when he asked me to walk away from who I once was, it didn't feel like much of a sacrifice. I believed I was walking into my destiny. My My purpose in life was to be his wife. He was walking into God's promise. I was walking into security, into love, into comfort, into care. I believed everything he told me, and it felt like an even exchange. Not to mention, I wouldn't be walking away from my daycare completely. We decided, eventually, I had planned to open another daycare with Kordell's support. And I did. Sadly, that plan fell through and the developer ran off with $170,000 worth of Kordell's principal investment. So I couldn't blame him when he wanted to hold off on that idea for a while. Now, she's complaining about a prenup, but so far we know he didn't spend $25,000 on a dress, 100 some thousand on a ring, 170,000 into her business. And last chapter, we found out that he was actually helping her with the budget for her business because it was failing so badly.
Yeah.
But you mad about a prenup?
But you mad about like you're getting the money, you just spending it on dumb shit. Like, like nobody knows who you are, ma'am. And Kordell isn't in the NFL anymore at this point, right? Or is he
How
still?
dare you?
Like, I
How
would have just
dare
got
you,
like a
Monty?
little
We know who she was. She was in the Trillville video.
right. Bonafide celebrity, A-list. Singing in the background.
How dare you do Trillville like that?
Oh my God. I'm so sorry. My apologies.
But looking at the prenup before we walked down the aisle, it wasn't adding up. So I walked. I never had a problem with walking away from Kordell. I was just terrible at staying away from him. After our standoff, which lasted a couple days too long, Kordell told his attorneys to rip the prenup up. Instead of a legal document detailing how he'd provide, Kordell promised that he'd take care of me. I just remember feeling like, wow, this man really loves me. He wants me to be a partner. At what cost, Rich? The fuck? At what cost? Everything has been about money.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? Everything has been about money. He ripped the prenup up, but when he kicked her out, she left with nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, did he keep the wedding dress too? With the beaded bodice, with the beaded bodice, did he keep the gown? Because I would have sold the gown and got my ass a place to stay. The $25,000 gown, this promise ring, girl, like you had things that you could have. You didn't have to be as down and out as you were after that situation. You know what I mean? He was spending money. The $170,000 gone to waste on the daycare center, the $25,000 dress, the ring, the this, the that. Yeah, like you were acquiring funds. It was just going on dumb things. You're mad because he wasn't also putting money in your account? Is that what it is? You felt like you should have also been getting cash? Like,
he was putting cash in her account.
Oh.
She had a $1,500 a month budget, which is cash he would give her. We'll get to that later on.
Oh, okay.
Also, guys, make sure to like the video. I am really taking one from the team for the team reading this book. Likes help me in the YouTube algorithm. I never really talk about myself like I'm supposed to on these Monties, so I have to remember.
Yes.
Hit the like, subscribe, and hit the bell button to get notifications. I'm not monetized yet, so I'm scrolling my Cash App. You don't have to send me Cash Apps. If you choose to, it's great. It supports the channel, but it's not a requirement. Now that that's out the way.
Yes.
After all the prayers, after God had told me that Kordell was my husband, I was finally ready to walk down the aisle to become his wife. I was ready to become the woman I knew Kordell wanted me to be. I know that sounds strange to put it that way, that I turned into someone else for my marriage. Not at all, based on what we've seen. But I wasn't just doing it for Kordell. It was for God. For God.
She did it for God. Beards for the Lord.
Kordell was a good man. He was safe. He was a provider. He was respectable. He was strong-willed. He knew what he wanted, and he knew he wanted me. He wanted me to be a mother to his son and to create our family with our own children. The assuredness, or should I say the vision that he had for our lives was intoxicating. It was sheer fairy tale. Kordell paid for our wedding $3 million. From the wedding planner to the venue to my dress, which was made in Florida, so he flew my mom and I back and forth a number of times to get it tailored, to the bridesmaids' dresses, to flying his family in and some of my family into Atlanta to witness our nuptials, to the fireworks at the reception, to our Mexican honeymoon. I thought that because he wanted me to have the wedding of my dreams, he'd be the man of my dreams. When you meet someone who can clearly see a vision for your life, it's easy to follow their lead. It's actually comforting because you no longer have to work so hard at life when someone claims to have a blueprint for you. Being a kept woman, a modern day housewife, and a mother, I had won the lottery. Yeah, Porsha, you had won the lottery.
Oh, wow. $3 million?
Now, we're about to get to a really interesting point. Becoming a mother to Kordell and Brandy's son was probably the best part of my wedding day. Although I hadn't really spent time with his son before we walked down the aisle, I'll never forget that moment when we were about to take family portraits on our special day. Kordell looked at his son and said, "You can call her mom now." From that day on, he called me mom.
After having not even known her?
She couldn't even know where he lived. He could not even know. He did not allow Porsha to know that he lived across the street, and he never introduced her to the son until they were married. They're taking wedding pictures, and he's turning to his son and saying, "Call her mom."
And he called her mom. So is this lies, or is this just this dysfunctional? Like, what be going on in Atlanta? Like, what's going on down there?
This part blew, like, a lot of parts in this book have blown my mind. But the fact that you walk down the aisle and you know that your partner has a son, at what point would you say, "I need to know that we will become a family unit. I need to meet your child and develop some type of relationship with them"? Who develops a relationship with their stepmom on the wedding day?
On the wedding day. Haven't lived with you, haven't seen you, don't know where you stay, don't know who you are. Talking about,
Well, I mean, they knew who she was because she was famous from that Trillville video.
Right. So she was already a bona fide, celebrity, Entertainment Tonight, Us Weekly, People Magazine covers, Time Magazine Woman of the Year,
Probably
all these
auditioning for
things.
Flavor of Love, too. I could have seen Porsha on Flavor of Love.
Yes, and them cheap, tacky-ass homecoming dresses off the clearance rack at Bloomingdale's.
I could have seen it.
Yeah. Yes, easily. What would her name have been? Probably Peach Juice.
I don't know. That's a tough one. I'm going to think about that and get back to you before the end of this video. To answer your question, Kordell sent her that wedding dress rolled up in a box to her mama's house on the show.
Oh, he sure did. He sure did, after he had gotten the use out of it that he needed.
You will not have Kordell suing me. People are asking me about my thumbnail. People are asking me about
alleged. Everything's alleged here on this broadcast.
People kept asking me about my thumbnail, and we'll get to my thumbnail in a minute. You have to understand, I always longed to be a mom, especially having when she terminated the pregnancy. It felt like an opportunity to make it right. I couldn't wait to move his son into our home. I couldn't wait to look for furniture and buy his favorite snacks and take him to practice. I was so serious about being a mom to Kordell's son, I started going to counseling. Because he was calling me mommy, I sought professional help because I wanted to make sure I lived up to that title. I didn't know how to fully be a mother because I had become one overnight. I hope going to family counselor would help me better understand my emotions and my new role as a step parent. And I encouraged Kordell's son to go as well so he could understand his emotions with suddenly having another mother, especially since his own mother was living in Los Angeles with Sheree. It felt like this moment.
Wait, what? Wait. You better go back.
No, I added the Sheree part thanks to Monty spilling the tea.
Yes, that's what the people told me.
No, but the mom was living in Los Angeles.
Okay.
It felt like this moment in my life, becoming Kordell's wife and mother, was ordained. I had lived life. I had overcome my own battles with falling out of love with the essence of life. I had battled losing myself in men and sex and alcohol and work. And when I decided to become a better version of myself, to choose the highest form of myself in order to meet God's vision for me, the very next year I met Kordell. Back in the presidential suite, I took off my wedding dress, handed it over to the bridesmaids who began working at it, trying to remove the stain as best they could, only to create another stain. Thankfully, Kordell distracted me. "This is for you," the wedding planner said, handing me a small ring-sized box. Immediately, I knew it was a wedding day gift from Kordell. He had already bought the crystal Louboutins that would carry me to the glass altar, which was surrounded by cascading crystals and flowers. Inside were a pair of diamond earrings. It was the second time I had cried that day. A few moments later, however, the wedding planner came back and handed me another bigger box. "This is for you too," she said with a wry smile. Now, I don't know that Porsha knows the word wry, WRY, so I'm thinking the ghostwriter added that. Because some of the
Yeah, she
verbiage.
doesn't know what that. She doesn't know. I can tell you. She doesn't know what that means.
When I opened the second box to see a bracelet that matched the earrings, it felt like confirmation. This day was going to be perfect. Kordell loved me, and after working so hard to create a legacy for myself, it felt nice to choose to be a part of someone else's legacy. "See, I told you don't let anything ruin your day," my mom said, reassuringly, acting as my strength. "Look at these earrings. Look at the bracelet. This is your day to be a wife and to be celebrated." Everything has a monetary value with these women. There is
Yes.
no intrinsic value in anything that amounts to anything real or
No.
tangible. It's all money, Monty. Everything is money. The wedding, the dress. He had a fiance, you didn't care. He didn't introduce you to his child, you didn't care.
Mm-mm.
Like, everything so far has been about money.
The money. The money. It's all about the money. And then you heartbroken when it don't work out. Like, she wasn't, when all that fell apart, she wasn't crying because her marriage was over. She was crying because the bag stopped and she was going to have to figure out how to do it on her own,
Or find another man.
or find another man. And it's like, damn, now I got to do this whole process over again. So let me get a new face and refresh this body. Let me get these cheeks pumped and these breasts plumped and try to revamp my image and put myself out here on a different market. Hey, it worked. It's been working. She could get a man. She got that Evelyn Lowe. You're disrespecting my legacy at this point. She got the Evelyn Lozada syndrome. You can get a man. You get a baller. You get a high value man, but you can't keep him. But you can get him.
And that she does over and over and over again in this book.
Mm-hmm.
Strange enough, I don't know if you watched Tisa Tales, but Tisa Tales was telling us that she was meeting up with Simon at the St. Regis prior to the announcement. And now we're finding out she got married at the St. Regis. So there's so much value in the St. Regis for Porsha.
Maybe I need to make a trip down to
Atlanta.
Okay.
You said, "Ooh, find me an African girl."
but not a Georgia prune like like Simon. Something a little
That's what I
fresher.
call Porsha.
Huh?
That's what I call Porsha.
The Georgia prune.
Prune juice. But okay.
Prune juice.
I call Simon Florida Evans.
Or I call him a raisinette, California raisin, the Georgia prune.
That make the Georgia prune and a raisin in the sun. That works.
Yes.
That works. Okay.
Yeah.
What I didn't foresee is that the devil knows God's plan too, and perhaps I didn't realize that just because something, or rather someone, had the right timing, it doesn't mean it was divine timing. I was just too immature in my faith then to truly discern the difference. Because you're so discerning now. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Back in the presidential suite, I took off my wedding dress, handed over the bridesmaids who began working at it. Oh wait, we did that part already. Okay, she talks about the bracelet. As night fell on the third floor terrace of the St. Regis Atlanta on May 21st, 2011, my brother Jose walked me down the aisle in front of about 200 guests. The stain that we worked so hard to get out had been replaced with a watermark, now conveniently tucked neatly underneath the billowing fabric. I looked around at the guests, sitting on the silver Chivalry chairs. Now, you know the motherfucking chairs, but you don't know which videos you were in. You know the name brand of the chair that your guest sat in at the St. Regis and the date, but you don't know that you were in the Trillville video.
You don't know that you were in the Trillville video.
You want to erase everything. We also know you slept with Block around that same time, but she didn't mention him in the book.
Yes.
Also, Todd, who she was willing to have a baby with on the show that she said that she dated, he didn't make the book. And I was thinking it was because he didn't have enough money, but we had somebody in here who knew him. I tell you, we do research here. Somebody that knew him came on my show and said that Todd was just literally a friend who was told he was going to get a free trip to Hawaii. He had no idea Porsha was going to do that to him and make him look like a loser. They said he never quit his job. Because remember, Porsha said he quit his job to be with me.
Yeah.
He said that never happened.
Oh, but they bashed Kenya. Oh my God.
Poor Todd. Oh. Poor Todd. I tell you, we stay down. We do the research over here.
Oh, these are things I'm learning things today. This is very informational and educational for me. But
we give you the tea, but you may not want it over here.
It's the hypocrisy for me.
Okay, my mom is one of the few people in my life who doesn't have to say anything for me to know exactly what she's thinking. Looking at my mother while holding hands with Kordell, all I saw was a dark cloud over her head, and it stayed there for the entire ceremony. I can always sense whatever energy she's putting out, whether she's trying to hide it or not. But I felt in my heart that she was completely unsure about my marriage. I knew how much it had taken her to offer encouraging words to me earlier. She was calm beneath my wings, but that didn't stop her from seeing the train wreck before it happened. But as any parent knows, you have to let your bird fly. I knew her hesitations and how hard it was to admit them, considering I love Kordell. Hell, she loved Kordell. We all did. So your mama never told you, not one time, that she had a reservation about anything. That's a problem. Because if you can't look to your elders for any type of truth, that speaks to who she is and how she was raised. Mama Joyce
didn't want to say nothing because she knew that money was coming in. She said, "Well, let me just shut my mouth. I don't want to ruin the bag, even though I know my daughter finna be this beard. I'm just gonna shut up so we can get this cash flow." That's why she was upset. That's why she was sad. She said, "I ain't gonna get no damn grandchildren out of this situation."
Now, Mama Joyce was up at the wedding causing problems. Mama Joyce knew what was up with AJ, and I mean, maybe she was wrong about Todd. I kind of like Candy and Todd together.
I like Candy and Todd, yeah.
But Mama Joyce was going to let her voice be heard. So it's very telling that Mama Diane said nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. But along with seeing how Kordell cared for me, my mother had also noticed other things that made her anxious. Of course, like any mother, she didn't tell me her reservations until I left Kordell the first time. She wanted me to find out for myself. Now, that little part is interesting because I watch Tisa Tales. She's a YouTuber. She's hilarious. She did an interview with Jamie, the girl that Porsha beat up in the alleyway.
Yeah.
Jamie said that Porsha and Kordell, right before the show, actually weren't living together. They had split up and then got back together for the show, which would explain why after the show did not help him look any better, he dumped Porsha and moved on.
Oh, so much.
I'm telling you, we work on this channel.
Oh, wow.
We do the research.
Oh wow. So
Okay.
it just make you wonder how much of any of this is real. You know what I mean?
Your guess is as
Wow.
good as
Like what are
mine.
we watching? We're watching sitcoms. Like none of this is real. We are watching sitcoms.
And that's why I told you to make a drink.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God.
My mother told me later that she also didn't like when he sort of pushed me to buy a new car that I hadn't necessarily needed. My car at the time was leaking oil. Now I had a really beautiful Lincoln Navigator, but it was a bit older, so it leaked oil sometimes. I know nothing about cars. As long as it takes me from point A to point B, I honestly care less about what goes on under the hood. But the fact that the truck leaked oil was something that really irritated Kordell to the point where I didn't understand why it was such a big deal. He complained about it so much. He eventually reached his own solution. He'd buy me a new car. Why would the mom have an issue with somebody's husband having them trade in their car and purchasing a new car? The way she makes it read, he pushed me to buy a new car. No, he bought you a new car.
Right. Wow.
Baby girl, what are we
Always got to
doing
be the
here?
victim.
Baby girl, what is
Always
this
got
thing?
to be the victim.
She got, I mean, this is the car that we saw in the show. He bought her an S Class Mercedes,
Yeah.
and she had a leaking Lincoln.
Yeah.
Okay.
A leaky Lincoln.
Instead of taking me to the car lot and letting me pick out what I wanted, Cordell bought a car that he loved. Although I felt that Cordell loved and cared for me, even in the most ordinary instances, I struggled to find my voice. I struggled to speak up for myself. I struggled to say, you know, babe, maybe we can get something that's more my style. I didn't want to sound ungrateful or spoiled. So, as with my first engagement ring, I just accepted it with a smile. So, if you're just joining us, first off, hit the like button. But me and Monty have been doing some research, and although she's up here saying that she accepts things with a smile and that that car wasn't her style, we now know that Porsha will lie because he gave her this emerald cut engagement ring that she said is not her style, but then she accepted an emerald cut engagement ring from Simon. So the
Yeah.
girl is a liar. That's all I can take from this.
And that tattoo.
Remember, she told you she licked the other girls' names on Dennis's skin.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So now you got this 85-year-old man getting tatted up.
Right. Exactly. You got Florida out here getting tatted. Oh my God.
Okay. Still, after we exchanged our heartfelt vows and sealed our covenant with God, lit a unity candle under the glass altar, and fireworks went off atop the St. Regis, another surprise to me on my wedding day, my mom was right there helping me back to my hotel room to change into my second wedding dress. This time, I slipped into a form-fitting corset with a matching skirt to make it easier for Cordell to find the garter. We don't care.
Girl, he ain't looking for no damn garter. He looking for some boxer. Keep going.
I
I
should
don't
have
want
known that something wasn't right. After spending a second night in the St. Regis, soaking up every last minute of our fairy tale wedding, Cordell and I went our separate ways. Porsha, I need to go home and grab a few things before we go on our honeymoon. Why don't you go home and grab some things as well? It sounded like a good plan to me, especially since we only lived across the street from each other. I felt they didn't even live in the same place their entire engagement. I felt fine waiting my way through the lobby, pressing P on the elevator and waiting patiently for the elevator to reach the top floor to my penthouse condo. But as soon as I stepped inside my unit, reality had set in. It felt like I had walked into a funeral. I knew that my aunties used to say that when you get married, it's almost like the death of your single life, but it felt like something else was happening here. It felt like I had walked into a dead person's home. It felt like every part of me was lost, and I was literally terrified it'd be gone forever. To me, that says you're scared that the thought and bopping is about to stop. Because who gets married, goes to pick up some draws so they can go to Mexico on their honeymoon, and is having an anxiety attack?
Yeah.
It sounds like you want to be a thought, and
Yeah.
Cordell is coming in between that.
Yeah.
What the hell did I just do? What did I just become a part of? I walked away from everything, my business, this condo. Am I going to be okay? I just up and married this man after only a year and a half, and I'm a mother now. She didn't walk away from the condo. Kordell was paying $4,000 a month for the mortgage.
Lord.
But she wants the viewing, she just told us this, but she wants the viewing audience to believe that she's a victim. Like she's the worst person. And you weren't making the rent. Your business was not viable.
Yeah.
I walked away from my business that you weren't paying for. You were using coochie coupons to pay for this, for your employee's salary and your rent. You can't use coochie coupons for viable businesses.
She want to make it sound like she was this entrepreneur, this big bank balling boss. And, you know, other people were funding this. She's just now coming into her own. And that's on the backs of another
men.
And that's on the backs of men.
Wealthy men. It's on her back, from her back to the backs of
laying on her back, guys. Oh my God, this lady is a fraud.
So I put my hand on my chest to try to steady and calm my breath, which I couldn't catch. It felt like I couldn't breathe, and because it felt like I was choking, anxiety took over my entire body. What was I going to die? Was I going to die the day after I got married? I couldn't breathe. I put my back against the wall and slid down to the floor slowly, crying hysterically. God, I thought you said this was my husband. Why am I feeling like this? God. I don't really feel that God should be put in this because none of this was godly.
None of this was definitely not God's plan. This was your plan, and that's why it went awry. Because this is a pursuit of Porsha. This is the pursuit of the bag. That's what this book should be called.
The pursuit of the bag. That's why I have him up here.
just willing to, you know, do anything with anyone for the bag. I mean, you've been a beard, you've played with friends for plot lines, you know,
and a pussy or two for fun.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Throw a couple little pussy cats in there, and then now you got this, you know, this embalmed African here, and that you stole from that little thotty girl over there, you know, dunking your peach juice in that woman pool, making eyes at her man the whole time. See, you know, like I said, like, you know, I told you I met her, you know, she seemed like a really nice girl, you know, but
she's a cute girl, but you know, cute, gorgeous will devour cute.
Yeah. Yeah. She's really tall, statuesque woman. You know, she looks how she looks on TV. You know, that's how she looks. You know, but baby, it's just, and then this TV show, and then this book. Like, who's the PR person? Is it a PR person?
Further in the book, I think that she's talking about Jamie in her book later on, but she uses a different name. I think Jamie was almost her PR, her stylist, who got her on this show. So the fact that she attacked her later on speaks volumes.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe, like you said Simon is embalmed.
Yes, correct.
I could see it.
Correct. He is like one of them weird ass funerals where they got the body standing up. And, you know, in all his pictures, he always looks so, you know, everything is so posed and stiff. Like, you know, you see even here. Like, everything, and the face is always the same because that, you know, embalmed. The home put that face on there.
Okay. Somebody said her sis, Melody Groove said her sis was the PR person.
Oh, that makes sense. Well, and that makes sense why everything's failing because Lauren don't know shit about shit. And that this show, Porsha Doesn't Matter, has showed us that. I just think this show was supposed to be about her activism.
She's acting all right. She was acting when she was out there with Yandy.
Yes.
Where was I? You blaming God for this? You blaming God? Okay, once I felt so close to him, I could simply close my eyes and hear from him. This time he felt so far away, I couldn't hear his voice. She's talking about God because God had told her on the dance floor that of a club in Atlanta that Kordell was going to be her husband. She said that was the first time she heard the voice of God.
So she just, and then God snuck up behind her, whispered in her ear like a yin yang,
tugged on her exotic weave.
Yeah, flinging her. And God snuck up on her like a yin yang twin and whispered in her ear and told her that was going to be her husband. Okay, girl.
So I shook it off. Looked down at my ring. Hold on. So I shook it off. Looked down at my ring, bracelet, and Kordell's money and said, Porsha, you gonna be all right. It felt no, I put that in there.
Look, I didn't flinch because I wouldn't put it past her. I'm just like, okay.
No,
at this point.
No. She just said I shook it off. I just ad lib sometimes when I feel like it's appropriate.
Of course.
It felt like a light switch had shut off. That's how easily Kordell changed from being a doting, attentive fiance to a mean spirit controlling husband. It didn't take long to learn who Kordell really was. Although he had made a reputation for himself in the NFL as a player that could excel in any position, running back, wide receiver, quarterback, at his home, his versatility and willingness to change ended abruptly. It was Kordell's way or the highway. He told me we were building a home together, but in reality, he was building a fortress. He had to approve every single thing we bought for the house: the sheets, the food, the curtains.
the drapery, the dinnerware.
Turn around and tell those people. Tell them. I'm not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like.
Indeed. I love it here.
Okay, he had to prove every single thing we bought for the house: the sheets, the food, the curtains. Being a young wife, I assumed every wife compromised with her husband and they created a household together. What I didn't realize was that Kordell, in his need to have the final say on every small detail, was going a step further. He controlled what we had in the house, who came into the house, and what they did while they were there. I mean, if I had guests over and they didn't use a coaster, he'd freak out, and I'd have to spend the next 20 minutes ensuring that there wasn't a ring on the table. His high expectations created this atmosphere of unattainable perfection for me as a wife and as a mother to his son. I had to be the perfect Porsha in order to avoid his iciness, which cut me deep. But while I was leaning into trying to be the perfect wife, keeping the house clean, making sure food was on the table, and making sure his son was taken care of, Kordell was always there to remind me that he bought everything, as if that would make up for everything he lacked. The irony was that if I wanted to, if he had allowed me to keep my daycare, I could have supported our family too. Kordell was paying the bills. How could you have supported the family with the daycare?
He was supporting the family with the daycare. So it's like the business that you do got is technically his business. So yeah, he's bragging about paying for everything because he's paying for everything.
Somebody asked me how much the book cost. So I got it on sale at Barnes and Nobles, but if you have Amazon Prime, It's free. You can get the audio book for free.
Oh, well, that makes sense. That's about what I pay for it too.
Somebody said messy. I know Monty's messy. It's not, no.
No, you don't. Don't do that. No.
I told y'all he was messy. Okay. Let's see. When Kordell bought our house, I was thrilled, especially after it was revealed it was a wedding present for me to celebrate our love. But was it true? But what was truly the surprise was that the house that he said was for us didn't have my name on the deed.
I mean, all the signs were there that he just needed something on his arm. Like it didn't have nothing to do with love. For either of them. What she's failing to mention is that they probably had an agreement, like, hey, I'll provide this, and that for you, and you be my girl, my arm candy, and then in turn, you get the things that it is that you're looking for, and I'll provide the lifestyle that it is that you're looking for in exchange for for you helping me keep up this image for whatever reason. That's what she's failing.
Who said that? Porsha or Kordell?
I'm thinking that they both had the. Oh yeah. hey.
I will never forget. One of you bitches is eating me tonight. That goes down in history.
Yes, somebody in here. One of you bitches is eating me tonight. Yes.
Oh, hold on. I got a cash app.
Good.
Thank you, Bridget. She says she enjoys my channel. I really appreciate it. Anytime you guys support the channel, again, you don't have to, but I really appreciate when you do, because this shit ain't cheap and I ain't monetized.
That's good. Yeah.
So
it's like, what is a male beard? A wig?
A weave. Kordell with her weave.
Yeah, that was her weave. A bundle.
I'll stop. I'm not gonna be able to read.
Sorry. Continue.
Just say you're my beard and you are my bundle. Until death do us part. Okay, where were we at? But I was leaning into trying to be the perfect wife, keeping how we did that. I immediately became suspicious because although I was comfortable being a wife, I also thought Kordell saw me as his partner. Leaving my name out the house's deed felt like a betrayal. Who was he really trying to protect? He was definitely not trying to protect and cover me, which is now his duty as a husband. I want to say this. I do think that there are traditional male-female roles. Some people choose to follow them, some people don't.
Mm-hmm.
At no point while this man is courting her during the while they were fiancés, at no point do we say Porsha hear her say, "I went and did this for Kordell." She claims that she changed for Kordell. I never heard her say she bought him a watch. Nothing. We only hear Kordell going after her, courting her, but we never hear her say, "I did this for this man. This was the man of my dreams." So to me, that seems one-sided. You don't have to have the same amount of money as Kordell to do something nice for him, ever.
Right. Somebody grew up listening to Trina. A lot of Trina.
We talked about Trina on my mistress video.
Really?
We talked about Trina. I'm gonna have to do a part 2 because I've been getting a lot of DMs about the mistress video. Everybody got their life because mistresses actually came on and exposed what they had been doing to people's husbands.
Oh.
So we're gonna have to do a part 2. If you are a mistress or a mistress, or you beat the mistress's ass and you were the injured party, DM me at Make It Make Sense Now. And see if you want to tell me your story. We'll keep you anonymous. All right. Okay. While I had an allowance, which was about $1,500 per month, it wasn't enough to cover what I needed to take care of the house that size and get his son what he needed, which turned out to be a lot since Kordell, again, without including me in the decision-making process, sued to obtain full custody of his son literally 30 days into our marriage. So he took the son from his mom 30 days after marrying Porsha. Remember, y'all, he was only introduced to Porsha at the wedding. Porsha spent no time with this man's son until the day that they got married. And then 30 days after the marriage, he sues, for full custody. I can't even make it make sense.
At all.
Don't get me wrong. A black man needs to raise his son in this world that will constantly beat him down and disregard him over and over again. But you would think that a substantial change like that to our household would warrant a deep discussion, which I would have supported. Who doesn't discuss a major decision like that with their new wife? The way he abruptly ended our honeymoon stage made me question our entire relationship. As much as I love Kordell and I knew he loved me, and we had just had the most fairy tale wedding in all of Atlanta, my mind couldn't help but wonder about his ulterior motives. Did he marry me to just look like a better father? Was I his beard? I added the was I his beard.
Again, like, it just makes so much sense.
Where are we at?
You definitely could have been the ghostwriter for this.
I should have been. Porsha, I haven't really read you down. You should hire me for the next book.
Yes.
I will fight. Unlike Dom, I won't go stand on a chair away from the fight. I'll fight. I'll jump in a fight. So just FYI. What I really mean is, did he only want to get married so he looked more settled and responsible to a family court judge so he could gain full custody of his son, who was really young at the time? Did he get married to have a permanent caretaker for his child so he could continue traveling 3 times a week and live out his sportscaster dreams? After Kordell made my entire family fall in love with him, or more accurately, made them fall in love with the person he tried so desperately to be as a way to control me, he began isolating me from my family and friends. My aunt talked too much. My girlfriend was too loud. My cousin didn't use coasters. Then my assistant couldn't come over anymore. Why did you need an assistant after you weren't working? What was the assistant for?
Right. Like, girl, you're the assistant. You don't need an assistant. You're the assistant. Like, what the hell?
Next, Lauren was banned from the house until eventually nobody was allowed to the house except for me, him, and my son. Now, if you remember, the mama told us that Kordell told us that the mom would be sitting in his master bedroom in his bed eating pizza when he came home. So maybe that's what they didn't want in the house.
Yeah.
Because that's disrespectful. You in this man's master bedroom eating pizza. We saw her eating them lemon pepper wings last week on the Porsha show, so we know she eats in bed.
She definitely eats in bed, yes. She wants us to think that's where all that ass came from, but we know it was Dr. Kerr's.
We see each other.
We see each other.
Okay. Because I was so embarrassed to tell my family and friends whom I'd known my entire life that they weren't welcome in my home because my husband was uncomfortable, I just preferred to cut all communication with them off. It was easier for me than having to deal with their likely harmless questions that felt like silver bullets, cracking our picture-perfect relationship. Facade of a relationship. I remember when my brother and his kids came over like they always did. By this time, Hosea and I had stopped running around the neighborhood, and instead, his children were running around my house. And soon, if I had it my way, our kids would be running around together. It was something we had always dreamed about, and it was nice having him and his wife so close by so we could see the kids. Even though the kids were just being kids, running through the house, playing with toys and whatnot, for some reason this visit sent Kordell over the edge. They had given him even more reason to go off the deep end when they went out on a bit of an excursion. Our house sat on a very nice lot of land. Kordell had even bought the lot next door to give us more space and privacy. Even though there was nothing but grass on our lot next door, Kordell still found a reason to complain. They left foot imprints in the grass.
I mean, it sounds like, something like shit. He was cantankerous and complaining because he wasn't living the life he wanted to live. If you live in a fraudulent life and somebody just taking money out your account, and this is the opposite of everything that you truly want in your life, in your face, on your face, then yeah, I'd be complaining about every little thing too. This water is wet. Like I'd be mad too. These cushions are soft.
What are you getting at? What are you alluding to? Now, this is all the opinions stated on my panel are not necessarily those of Make It Make Sense brand. If Kordell needs to sue somebody, sue him. Sue the one with the good hair. Sue the one with the baby hair and the exotic hair. Sue that one. Sue him. Don't sue me, Kordell. Sue him.
I told you at the beginning of the broadcast, everything here is alleged.
Okay, let me. Oh, that is sad, Ms. Johnson. Jose had it. He packed up his children and left, and I couldn't blame him. He had every right to do that, to protect his family. That's when I noticed it. I thought it was just chill on my feet or the temperature in the house. Everyone always says the first year of marriage is the hardest. I thought it was just a passing phase, something we just had to get through, or something we had to get used to. Yeah. Here we were, embodying the American dream, living in a 20,000 square foot house that didn't hold any love in any molecule that wafted inside. Porsha and Kordell's house was 20,000 square feet.
20,000 square feet. And no love in there. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have the footages of, him. He got that thing turned around and tooted up, and hey, like I said, don't sue the one on the left or the right, but I mean, it ain't no love there because that ain't what neither one of them want low key. They both the B in LGBT. Let's move on.
Okay. So here we were, embodying the American dream. Now, that was my problem. All you've told us is monetary things.
Mm-hmm.
What about your life was the American dream? Does
she
really think you having money as being the American dream?
That's what she equates it as, materialistic things. Yeah.
Okay. While I was dead set on turning our family of 3 into a family of 4, Kordell wasn't. I hadn't yet caught on to the fact that he was pulling out while I was ovulating. Kordell was pulling out as Porsha was ovulating.
I'm surprised he ever pulled in.
Having somehow calculated just when that would be. So he calculated when she was ovulated, and those were the days he pulled out. That's what she's alleging. You don't see a problem with that? He was... For anybody with a husband, anybody with a husband or a man in the chat, what would you do if your husband was pulling out on the days you ovulated? Wouldn't that be a red flag?
Ooh, child.
Okay. It didn't occur to me.
I do not want to have a child with you. Because he got kids. He just didn't want one with you. Ooh, because she would have took him to the cleaners with that child support, and he knew that.
Well, we're getting there. It didn't occur to me that perhaps something wasn't wrong with me, but instead something was wrong with him. So I made an appointment with a fertility doctor. At our very first appointment, the doctor told me enthusiastically, you're pregnant. What? I'm pregnant. Yes, you are. Oh my God. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe that after months and months of trying and praying, and trying and making deals with God and trying and changing my diet and trying and experimenting with different positions, we had finally gotten pregnant. Now, this is also a running theme. That run on sentence was her, not me.
Yeah.
That was her. That,
Of course it was her. Of
that was
course.
one sentence. I was happy and he seemed happy. He seemed happy that I was happy. Within the first month of this pregnancy, I started having a lot of abdominal pain. It unnerved me, but perhaps I thought this is what the body does while carrying a child. By the second month, Kordell took me to the hospital because the pain had become so severe. I had heard pregnancy was painful, but it never would have occurred to me in a million years that it would be this painful. It didn't seem right. I had fibroids in my uterus, growing at a rapid pace alongside the baby and making my pregnancy high risk. At that time, I didn't even know what fibroids were, had never even heard of them. I didn't realize just how common they were, especially among Black women. During the third month, my doctor couldn't find my baby's heartbeat and sent me to a specialist just to make sure. The specialist, thank God, found the baby's heartbeat, but also a massive fibroid. I was told to be on bed rest for the rest of my pregnancy to mitigate the pain. I was determined to shrink this fibroid in my womb by any means necessary. I even became a vegan because I read that plant-based diet helps shrink fibroids, but nothing seemed to help. In fact, it felt like the pain was becoming more intense. I could barely get out of bed, let alone walk. I couldn't even go to the bathroom without feeling this intense, sharp pain. So this is a real situation.
Yeah.
Porsha had fibroids, which we now know it's very prevalent in Black women. However, she found it funny when Phaedra read the dog shit out of Cynthia and said, while you over there sitting on Captain Crunch, I got Aquafina.
Yeah.
So Porsha, somebody who battled with fibroids, and it was a very big issue in her pregnancy, felt it funny while Phaedra talked about another woman's fibroids. Can you make that make sense?
Porsha doesn't make sense. So, like,
how do you find that funny though? Like,
yeah,
you can't.
having dealt with the same thing, and then what? Yeah, and Phaedra either, but this is we not on her, but yeah, somebody in the comments said definitely, yeah, they're saying
Oh,
red.
they're talking about the pulling out while you're ovulating. They're answering the question. They're saying it's a red flag.
Oh yeah, yeah, but yeah, Porsha, I just, oh my
Kordell
God,
was on his Bridgerton. Did he pull out in Bridgerton?
I don't know, I didn't watch Bridgerton.
I only watched the first episode.
Really,
Everybody in the chat is saying it's a red flag if they're pulling out while you're ovulating.
Yeah, definitely.
It sounds like Juan Dixon.
It definitely. I am so glad
that Juan Dixon is not here right now.
What are you glad a lot, girl?
So okay, so we're very close to ending. I don't know that I really want to go into this. I just want to say that at this point, Porsha loses the baby. The fibroid was the main issue that she lost the baby.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of this chapter is really about that. And the only other takeaway was that while she was losing the baby, Kordell went on a golf trip. He left for a golf trip, and the next day, she lost the baby. So I didn't want to go into that fully because that's not really what this is about. I really feel bad that she lost the baby.
Yes.
Especially since she said that because she chose to terminate her first pregnancy and then she lost that baby, it was a really big deal. So, we do shits and giggles on this, but that's not a laughing matter.
No.
What was it a laughing matter when Phaedra said that Cynthia had Captain Crunch when talking about that woman's fibroids?
Yeah.
Y'all want to be going out living for Phaedra when she says some horrible shit like that.
Right, exactly. Well, you know, Phaedra got her karma.
In Apollo?
Huh?
In Apollo?
Yeah, Apollo was her karma. Angela Stanton was her karma. She was her own karma. Carlos King was her karma.
So people were asking about my banner. On the banner, so we're going to get into that on the next reading. But after Porsha and Kordell broke up, Porsha alluded to the fact that she was Cordell's beard. And then the iconic Andrew Caldwell came out and alleged that he had been seeing Kordell through Porsha. If you don't know who Andrew Caldwell is, I'm about to remind you.
Turn around and tell those people. Tell them. I'm not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women. Women. I said women. I'm not gay. I would not date a man. I would not carry a purse. I would not put on makeup. I will love a woman. Now listen to what y'all pray.
So that is Andrew Caldwell.
Yes, iconic.
Now, Andrew said on an interview on a radio station that he used to date Kordell, but when Kordell sued him for $4.5 million, Andrew came out and said that was a lie. Kordell also let us know that after Andrew alleged that, he lost $1 million a year in endorsements.
Oh.
So I don't know how viable. I don't know how much money Andrew Caldwell got after he started doing the internet, but I do remember seeing that he worked at Target for a while. So I don't know that he could cover the $4.5 million. You think?
I don't think so.
So don't sue us, Kordell. Don't sue us. And if you do sue, he has a bigger platform. So what we're gonna do a little bit later is I'm definitely gonna open up the phone lines. Actually, let me do that now to invite people. If you want to talk about what we just read, you're more than welcome to. You guys, you have to go and support Sipping the Monty. He is hilarious. So I dropped the link. Anybody who wants to come up and talk about this, we can. If you want to talk a little bit about what's going to happen on Porsha's tonight, we can. Before we do that, before I bring you guys up, I'm going to let Monty show you what he does the best on his blog, Sipping the Monty. He also has a YouTube channel. You can get to his YouTube channel by clicking on the title of my channel. I have featuring Sipping the Monty. You can just click that link and get to his channel. So this is what Monty does best. So he's going to read to you.
Yes, so this was a topic that had came up the other day, and it says former chart-topping bottom Neo says that "You My Bitch" has replaced "I Love You" in R&B music, and I'd say I have to agree with our fair sister in Christ. I was just having this conversation the other day about how raunchy R&B is now. No romance, no innuendo. Just lay back and bust that shit open for me and the crew. The singers want to be rappers so bad. So, I agree with my good sis here, and look at her. What is Neo giving here? It's given like Flavorworks 2004, Coco Dorm.
This is what he does. If y'all don't remember, if you saw the Mistress live, I think we showed his Alicia Keys post. So you got to go subscribe to him. Definitely, he's hilarious.
Thank you.
So what did you get out of this? What did you get from this?
That it's all about the money with her, and she knew she was a beard. They even had alluded to that on the show. When she was sitting on the couch with her mom, and they was alluding to it, and they pretty much said it without saying it. I mean, this is pretty much the name of the game for her. She does what she does, for the money. She goes after, she's not looking for love. If she happens to find love on the way to the bag, that's cute, but she's not in it for that. And I, you know, and just reading this, like there's no real brain power going into this. There's no like real, thought process behind. She's not looking for love. She's just looking for money. She's looking for a come up, and I don't know how much Bravo is paying her. I'm assuming she's made her way to $1 million. She's been doing it long enough, but I guess that's not enough, and she wants, more.
She wants people's husband.
Yeah, I guess she's got the why. Yeah, she wants your husband. She's got the why spin mine when I can spin yours mentality. I guess she's always had that.
My friend Gabor's grandma says, "Don't give away nothing you can't sell."
Hey, that's hey, I can't say I'm entirely mad at her. It's been working. She got Dennis. What does Dennis pay child support? He pays child support, right? I'm sure.
Well, they're about to go to a custody case right now.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. And so supposedly behind the scenes, what happened was Dennis started putting her on blast, like the fact that she's not really with her daughter very often and stuff like that. And so Porsha alludes on the show, well, you're not paying like child support. You're not paying for anything for PJ. And Dennis may be a lot of things. They might talk about him with animals and all that. But from what I've seen, he loves his daughter and she loves him.
Yeah.
So I don't really know all the stuff that's coming out about Dennis and hitting the cousin and all this kind of stuff. I don't know what to believe coming out of Porsha's mouth, Simon's mouth, Fallon's mouth, Dennis's mouth. None of them seem super trustworthy.
I agree. Like everything just seems like, it's all for TV.
Oh, wait, I got another Cash App.
Good.
Thank you, Karen. I really appreciate the Cash App. Again, you don't have to support the channel, but you did, so I really appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know. I might go ahead and do Corinne's book next, or do my favorite excerpts from Corinne's book, because at least she acknowledges what she does and puts it out there.
Right.
Yeah, the people in the chat know who you are.
Oh, wonderful.
And some of them said they're subscribing. And Amused, who I'm about to bring up, she put your link in the chat. So anybody you want to subscribe to Monty's YouTube channel, definitely do that. He's gonna be, I think he said he's gonna be doing some more content on YouTube soon.
Yes, I am. I had took a break from YouTube to.
You were gone for a minute. Now you back on the jump off.
Yes, I've been gone for a minute now. I will be back with the jump off very shortly. I'm working on that. I'm working on a couple other things too. I can't share it just yet because I'm waiting for a couple more things to get developed. But when that comes up, I will be sharing that on my platform and, where to follow those things as well.
Okay, well, one of my faves. What's up, Amuse? She likes to read me. So
hi. No, I don't. I'm just playing with you.
What's up? What did you think about Prune Juice?
I just have a couple of questions. So, when you said she was pregnant with Kordell, before that, were you saying that he was pulling out?
Yes, he was pulling out while she ovulated without her
So,
knowing.
who's the father then? Did we know? Could it have been Robert? Because did you say?
This is why we love Amused on this channel.
Oh my God, who's the father then?
That's a good point.
Was that around the
Simone.
time with Robert? Because
Simone, I was about to pull you up, but you dropped down. Come back. I said I had somebody else. I think maybe her. What were you saying, Amused?
yeah, I'm just trying to understand. Because if he was pulling out and not really looking to have any child, and we know that she overlapped with Robert at some time with Kordell, was that around that time? Because sometimes I can't follow the stories. Too many lies.
Yes, Amused, you have been listening. I believe that there was some overlap between R. Kelly and Kordell. Because the time frames would have been around the same time. So I sure hope that it wasn't Robert's baby. But that's
or it could have been another neighbor or a cousin's partners. We don't know at this stage. A friend's partner.
So basically, anybody in the tri-state area is what you're saying?
Well, we don't know because she seems to get around and she's quite happy to tell us everything that was going on. I mean, I'm not putting it on her. I'm just going with the information that she's put in her book.
I would agree with you. It could be anybody.
That is a very valid point.
Yeah, because I was also surprised why she took him to get an appointment at the doctor's. There was no problem. We knew what the problem was. He was pulling out. So why would you go to the hospital to get things checked out?
Well, she went to the hospital because they said that because they said that she was having pain.
Yeah, we found out she had.
Pregnant.
Oh, okay.
So that's why
I thought she went to the hospital to find out why she wasn't getting pregnant. I think you need to go. Let's go back to that bit.
No, I mean,
did she go to the hospital when she was pregnant or before?
She went to the doctor to confirm her pregnancy. She wasn't sure why she wasn't getting pregnant. She went to the doctor. He told her she was pregnant. Then she went to the hospital because she was having pain.
Okay.
Hey, Prosperity Girl, this is our Todd aficionado.
Can y'all wash y'all dishes that y'all had now?
And she wants them to know to wash their dishes.
What?
You're on live, Prosperity Thick Girl.
Coochie coupons.
You make it sound so classy.
Doesn't she?
Well, someone in the chat asked me to say it.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, Prosperity Girl. Are you still working on our Todd interview?
He ain't coming. He ain't coming.
So,
can I just say, huh?
I was going to say, what'd you think of this chapter?
Can I just say the lies, the lies, the lies? Which one is it? Was Kordell a bad guy, or was he a guy that helped you and pushed you along the way? Because remember, he was helping her with her business, and he was telling her what would be good for her. But in real life, she tried to make us feel like this man was the whole devil, the devil's spawn.
I agree. Yeah.
Who don't know that man? They live across somebody for 3 years. Girl, you know you was stalking that man. He had money and he had a girlfriend. The two things that you like the most: somebody in the relationship and with a bag. You know you don't want no single man. You knew all about that man. You knew about his son. You knew about the fiance. You knew what he ate for dinner. Girl, get out of here. You and your exotic baby head.
Oh, not Luther.
That was just a whole mess. That's why Bravo done switch. It was 9 episodes. Tisha just said they done took it down to 7. That's why tonight is the finale. Even Bravo don't like you no more, girl.
It is hard because she was Andy's favorite. Like she was definitely Andy's golden girl. So
Well, you know, when it's
What?
Andy's favorite, that means they're a total disaster because everyone who's his
Exactly.
favorite are
You make
horrible.
them, the more of a fool you make yourself, the more Andy like you. And she has made a big fool of herself.
Isn't she
Got
going to be on the Real Housewives of Atlanta this season, but as a friend in like a few episodes? I hear.
I
I
haven't
ain't heard them say
Who's
that.
friend?
Right. Who is her friend?
Right. That's a good question. Maybe I don't know. I guess they're gonna use that to shoehorn her in for season 15. I don't know.
Speaking of friends, why her good friend Shamia wasn't on this show now one time? Her matchmaker, her African matchmaker.
Because she's not
Why she
stupid.
wasn't on it?
The African connection.
Because she knew it was going to be a mess.
Or her husband was like, "Oh no, we're not gonna be a part of none of that. That's what we not gonna do. My
Yeah.
name ain't Africa like his, so we're not gonna get it to be mud either."
That's a really good question. I was actually going to ask it myself. Why wouldn't Shamia be on the show? She's thirsty to be on everything else.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because she knows her best friend and she knows her best friend's family.
No, because she know Porsha ain't really her best friend. What best friend misses your wedding? Is so jealous of you that she misses your wedding, coming with a lie. All of a sudden, her legs can't sit that long. Girl, they can open that long. They can be up in the air that long. Why they can't sit on the plane for that long? Girl, get out of here. Remember, girl, he got a house. He got a car. We remember Porsha. Then you dogged her out for Phaedra. And then look what Phaedra got your ass.
Mm-hmm.
So you say her legs can do everything else?
They can do everything else but sit on the plane. Unless it's a that fake private jet that layaway private jet her and Simon been riding on. Because we all know he ain't got what she think he got.
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying that Florida Evans his money don't run long?
Yeah, I'm saying Simone money don't run long as she think it does. And she talking about some Kordell moved her in a house that her name wasn't on the lease. Ain't that the same thing Simon just did?
Yeah, Simon doesn't care for Porsha. He just wants a bit of fame. He's not stupid.
That's what I'm saying. So why you calling out Kordell?
Yeah.
At least he got you one bill from scratch. Simon gonna run on the bill anyway. Girl, he got the movers on hold. What are you talking about, Porsha?
Yeah.
That is a really good point. She made a point to say that she felt that the relationship was not real because he didn't put her on the deed. But it's been exposed that she's not on the current deed of that $6.9 million house. So
well, they're not married yet, are they?
No.
They not getting married.
No. And that
but I
bubble
want to
gum
be
tattoo
secure
is
before
not
I
real.
marry you. I want to be secure. I want my name on the lease before I marry you, not after, not during, before.
Mm-hmm.
And she said Mama Diane didn't approve of a Kordell, but you approve of Simone? Really? Really? He's a real valuable
They think they're
candidate?
going to get their hand on his money, on his family's money, should I say. Not his money, his family's money. But the whole family are just a disaster, really. They're all just chasing money.
Get some money? Nope.
Isn't their wedding date supposed to be in February?
You're lying.
Oh, is it? What, Valentine's Day?
Next month?
I think I heard her say something about they're getting married in next month.
I can't.
And if you say April the 1st, I believe it, because that'll be an April Fool's joke. But
yeah, but hold on a minute. This is Porsha telling us this, so we know it's a lie. There's no wedding in February. She's just saying it for.
She said that because Tamron Hall had put her on blast. So I think she just threw something out there. But she did say something about February. I think she said like February 23rd or something along those lines.
Did she say what year?
My son's birthday or 5 days before mine.
You said, did she say what year?
Yeah, because February just telling us February.
2022. Tamron Hall said a lot of things that should have convicted her of some things, like not being with somebody's husband. She said that, but damn, you ain't correct that.
Yeah.
What?
So we don't know the date. We just know that we'll be away.
Porsha don't know the date. Sam, ma'am,
There is no date.
how we gonna know?
No,
Ain't no
there is
date.
no date. She just pulled it out of her ass.
Her Dr.
Along with
Curve's
those
ass
porn
is
objects
supposed to
that's
be
in the
real.
ass.
Let's see if
Mims,
I
can you show the picture of the father for those people that weren't here at the beginning?
Yeah, because I missed
the man who you stop and stare when he enters the room.
Yeah.
So Porsha has
Certainly
told
stop and
us
stare.
that
I
her
don't know for what
father was the
reason.
type of man that people would stop and stare and say, "Wow, who's that?" when he walks in the room. So we got a picture and we'll leave it up to the chat. This is Porsha's
Yep,
dad.
let's
Would you
see.
stop and stare when he walks in the room?
Yeah, you gonna stop and stare. You gonna stop staring and laugh. You trying to figure out what is we looking at.
With the jar
Amused, you
bottom
are so shady.
sunglasses.
Amused, you are so shady.
And Diane mad that he left her. Good. You should be happy.
Well, I think it was his
Ooh.
reputation. Sometimes, it's not the looks, it's the status of the person.
So y'all are Amused is shady. Let's start there. Is Dennis
I don't know what you
Rodman-
class shady. I think it's us British people. It's just every day for us.
You are shady for that picture.
I just do the research. That's Porsha's father. I just do the research.
Is that what you call it? Research. What's the what have we got to look for? When does this book end?
You know what? So what ended up happening was I wanted to do 2 chapters today, but the Kordell chapter was just too juicy. There was too many like little tidbits and nuances. But you guys, I've been working a lot. I've been doing 6 and 7 day weeks. And so I want to give you guys different content. So I'm going to start doubling up on the chapters. So if I double up on the chapters, I'll probably be able to finish the book in about maybe in the next 2 Sundays.
And what have we got to look forward to next Sunday?
Oh God.
It's the RHOA days. So one big running theme is she's embarrassed a lot.
Okay.
This made the
right.
This made the book. She was embarrassed by this. She was embarrassed by this.
Well, we know now because she went to the special school, so we have to give allowance.
The specials.
But like the real crazy part is Nene and Cynthia really had her back very early on, and she turned on them as soon as she didn't feel she needed them anymore.
So yeah, but Porsha's got no friends, even her family. No, she doesn't care for anyone but herself.
She just threw her cousin under the bus. She still ain't said nothing about the allegations her little cousin made that she told her to make.
So guys,
but we really need to feel sorry for her daughter.
Oh no,
I do. I was going to
don't say that.
I didn't want to talk about nobody Cowboy Benz that you brought it up. I'm just.
I think her daughter has a good foundation in Mama Diane. She seems really loving. I think that they really love the daughter. I think that what they put out on the show makes it hard to see, but clearly the daughter is being raised in love.
In love, but no sense because Mama Diane raised Porsha.
Yeah, I'm sure she loved her as well.
Exactly.
But what are you guys looking forward to on the show tonight? I'm looking forward to seeing Aunt Liz's response to Simon when he basically says put some respect on Porsha's name. Like I can't imagine Simon, somebody with such a lowbrow person, telling a freedom fighter, telling somebody who has made it possible for people to come into this country. Because if you guys know, people of color weren't really getting visas at a certain point. They didn't value us. So it took people like Aunt Liz and the freedom fighters to make sure that everybody was able to come to this country. So for Simon to tell her that is very insulting. But if I know Aunt Liz, like I think I know Aunt Liz, she's going to have a comeback. She's going to check the fuck out of him.
She better be lucky she can get one of them old Black Panthers on his ass. That's what he lucky.
Right.
I'm looking forward to her with this Blondie conversation because I want to know, is she trying to say all of a sudden now that Dennis abused her? Because she told Blondie, you wasn't there when I was being abused, but you got the girl fired. You got your own cousin fired. Who does that?
It's the trash of it all for me.
And just down with Dennis, she say he don't pay nothing. Girl, why we never heard none of this stuff before, Porsha? You was just saying how good of a father this man was. This man just gave you a whole Mother's Day brunch for you to tell him you got a fiance. He just got you a whole party bus for your birthday. But he ain't no good.
Yeah.
Nobody's never any good once they stop dealing with Porsha. They are the world when they're with her. But the day they leave her, they always trash.
Yeah. And don't forget, she wanted to fight his mother on the last episode, talking about, where his bitch ass mama?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And his slut that wasn't even at the dinner, wasn't even on the show. Why were you even talking about her?
Right.
That let us know why you were really mad.
You have to have so much respect for people who have given their life to charity, who have given their life to charitable works, who have given their life to the cause. Porsha expects us to respect her because she got her and Yandy hooked up and did one Black Lives Matter event, and we're supposed to respect her for the rest of our lives. Whereas this woman who's actually a freedom fighter, you're going to let your fiance, Florida Evans, talk crazy to her. That's messed up. There's no way you can do that.
Mama Liz Auntie Liz got locked up at 9 years old so that you can be over here tricking people in line and owing people money and buying all these cars and getting houses and not paying the rent and people sending you to court. But you're going to tell her to respect goddamn Porsha?
Why did you just give me Phaedra? I swear for a minute I thought she was going to say, and your baby daddy went down to the sperm bank so that you could have a baby. That's what it was giving. What's up, Gabor?
What's good, everybody?
Hey, Gabor.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday to you too.
A snowy Sunday in DC.
A snowy Sunday.
It's a mess.
Well, I hope you keep warm.
Huh?
I was asking Gabor if it was snowing where he was at.
No, she said that it was a snowy Sunday in DC.
Oh, the Todd aficionado, the Todd whisperer. I forgot. What's up? So you have some more respect for Porsha now?
Me? I never had no respect for Porsha. I never had no respect for Porsha. I seen through Porsha the first time she was on the show, and y'all was trying to convince me that she wasn't, that she was respectable.
Well, don't put y'all into me.
And they everybody dragged
I saw her from the beginning.
I seen
Kenya just stopped getting dragged.
I seen Freako since she got on the screen. I seen Freako ever since she got on the screen. But y'all was trying to convince me that she wasn't.
You better remove that, y'all. Not me.
In the pulpit denouncing gays and things.
And
You
she
remember
over there
that
eating
part?
them by, and she telling people that she want to eat them till they come.
Right.
But she denied
Exactly.
gays. But she got a battery pack under her tongue. She the
with
one
the
with the battery pack.
because Latoya threw up. Don't forget. Latoya
Yeah, she
had
wanted
a
her
taste and
to.
threw up.
Somebody gonna eat this tonight.
Yeah, that's what she said. One of you bitches eat. Really, ain't that aggressive? One of you bitches eat me tonight. I don't care which one of y'all, but one of you
Told her
ladies.
she was aggressive. She said she aggressive when she started drinking. Try to slam her
Well, we
tongue down
already
her
know
throat.
She got a battery pack
aggressive
on
anyway.
that tongue. She got a battery pack on that tongue. She told Candy that she wanted to eat her until she came.
Child.
Yeah.
Let me show you a real tongue, girl.
And you know they say
Candy
Candy done been passed around Atlanta. And so
Yeah.
I mean Porsha
Yeah, from a long time ago.
Porsha was like, it's my turn. My turn.
Mm-hmm.
When Porsha was like, Block told me about you. I know what you can do.
Porsha
Don't Porsha seem
likes
like
to have
that type though to
leftovers.
ask you about your ex while y'all having y'all little escapade? I bet she ain't do it like this. She seemed like that type.
Yeah, I think.
But Dennis said
to hype her up doing sex.
Dennis said she was a pillow princess. Dennis alluded to the fact that she was a pillow princess when they was
she don't
having yoga,
she
when they
don't
was
move.
doing yoga.
He said she don't move like Gorilla Girl's head.
Oh,
I
She
couldn't
don't
get
move.
past
She
the
don't
fact
move.
that Dennis was sweating like Bob. When Dennis was doing yoga, it was like a gallon of sweat dripping from his head, just like Bob, wiggly-eyed Bob Whitfield.
Was
when
they
was on
doing
that
bitch
beach.
room yoga? Was it the hot yoga?
It was
They was
just
they
in the
was on
hot
a
sun.
rooftop. They was on a rooftop in Mexico.
Well, we know Portia's selfish, so she just probably likes to be serviced.
Again, it just sounds so classy.
But she don't. She
It's
can't
so
just.
trashy, but it sounds so classy.
But Amuse, she can't want to be served. That she was telling Candy that she want to eat her until she come. That means that
Wow.
she's like the service.
Well, maybe she was feeling a bit generous that day.
And
Her
when it
body
comes
don't
to-
move, but that tongue do. Her
When it
body
come
don't
to
move, but that
women-
Well,
tongue
yeah,
do.
we know the tongue moves.
This is such
How
a
lo-
classy show.
When do you
so
think the coochie coupons will expire? Is there an expiry date on them?
I think they had expired because LaToya threw up.
That's
You don't
free.
just throw up for no
Porsche
reason.
free. Porsche free.
What's up,
Exactly.
But
Simone?
even-
You know, coupon.
Nothing much. How is everybody doing?
Are you British
Hey,
too?
babe.
No, I'm American.
Oh, okay.
We were DMing for a little bit. Don't you remember on Instagram?
Yes, but I can't hear your accent in a DM.
Oh, that's insane. No, I'm American. I'm American. I just wanted to stop in and say, I love your show, Mims. And Monty, I just got familiar with you and I've been looking at your Instagram and I cannot wait till you get back to YouTube. That's going to be all the way live.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
As far as what we're talking about here, I am a little confused because for a while there, I thought that Porsha was quite possibly one of Andy's favorites, but this spinoff is not making her look good, and I don't know who advised her on this book. These things aren't, she's not coming off well as you should in your own show.
No.
She's a supporting actress. She's not even a starring role. She's a supporting actress in her own show.
On her own show. It's like she don't come in till like halfway through.
But it
I
seems
told
like
y'all the name of this show should be Dennis is Who Really Matters.
Right.
What were you saying, Gabor?
But it seems like she betted everything on this show. She started quitting jobs and everything, and she bet everything on this show. And from what me and Mims looked at the other day, the fight episode only got 100,000 more views. Not even 100,000 more views.
The regulars were
10,000.
getting 6, and the fight one got 7.
Yeah.
You know what? She probably, when they were filming, she probably filmed a lot of stuff. And, she was probably under the impression that, that was going to be used and televised and put to the forefront. And then when they put it on television, it was something totally different.
Fooled her.
Well,
Portia's
One of you mentioned money. She must be getting maybe $1 million a season now. And maybe this is because I think that Bravo is known to play dirty. Maybe Portia's too costly, and this is their way of getting rid of her by making her look horrible in her own
I ain't
show.
never felt like Porsha was high dollar. Oh, you mean paid on the show? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Look at Mim's ass.
You're the messy, shady one.
Talk about we messy.
You're too busy being messy. You're too busy being messy. But do
to
you
be
think maybe
fair,
that why she's
Andy's
not coming
messy.
off good? Yeah, Andy's
Just
messy,
'cause
and
he's-
I don't know.
Yeah, just because you're his
Hold on, one
favorite,
at a time.
he doesn't care throwing you under the bus.
I'm sorry. What were you saying, Simone?
I was just saying that, Andy, like Turtle, I forgot your name. I'm so sorry. But Turtle was saying Andy is messy, and I'm wondering if this is their way of getting rid of her because maybe she's gotten too expensive. She's worth maybe now $1 million an episode, and they need to bring in new blood, and they just can't afford her anymore as a housewife. Because why is she coming off so poorly in her own show?
I think that she bet on that fight. She thought that the fight was going to. She thought, a lot of people like to see fights. Those are the highest rated episodes. And she thought that fight was gonna make it happen for her, but she wasn't expecting its backlash.
Exactly, and that's why she thought it.
Go ahead, boo.
Go ahead, baby. I'm sorry.
Oh, at this point, we tired of it.
And that's why she started sending out those, putting all that stuff on her Instagram and trying to be above. I'm something about she don't do violence, girl. When you stop being violent, Porsha, you've been violent before you even came on this show, before this show was even thought of. You've been beating people up in the alleys, and the girl still don't know why you beat her up 5 years later.
Yeah.
So we know you. This is you. They're showing you. They're showing the actual you. You have no one else to cover up your mess like you did when Kenya was there, because you would throw it on her, or you would throw it on Marlo, or you would throw it on anyone but you. Even after the fight, he made me. No, nobody made you do anything. He touched my family, and you lie on your family and you treat your family like dirt. So what's the difference? Why are you so mad?
Yeah.
You use that as an excuse to do what you did. I was told I was waiting for somebody to say, "Opa, she throwing plates and cups and not the hell." You thought you was at a Jewish wedding, breaking glass. Like, girl, what is wrong with you? This
I
is
just want to
you.
point out that
But
she's
see-
not that strong because she just pulled Kenya's hair, and Cynthia got the best of her by kicking her in the coochie. She was on the ground after one coochie kick. So it's not like she's a great street fighter. She might fight, but she's not winning all of them.
Yeah,
bet
Yeah,
Cynthia
she not
was
beating up
kicking-
people.
Cynthia was kicking for her life.
She kicked her right in the moneymaker.
Cynthia was kicking for her life because Cynthia knew that if Porsha would have got, I believe though, if Porsha would have got on top of her the way she wanted to, it would have been over for Cynthia, and Cynthia knew it.
Cynthia said, "You will not mess up my money maker, which is my face, but I will mess up yours. I'm gonna kick you in the cooch."
But see,
There you
Porsha
go.
ain't as bad as she says she is, because she should have been anticipating that. You think that you just about to jump on somebody? You think that you just about to straddle Cynthia and she's not gonna do nothing? Y'all not in the bedroom. You know,
Right.
She got used to it because she got to pull Kenya off the couch. She got to get Jamie in the alley. She used to people not really thinking she gonna do what she did, but Cynthia was ready for it. Oh no, you won't. Not today.
Yeah.
Cynthia was kicking for her life.
Well, all right, guys, we're about to close out because we're a little bit over at 2 hours. I want to thank everybody for coming. If one of my mods could please put Sippin' Monty's YouTube in the chat, and also Gabor's, it'd be appreciated. Simone, I don't know if you started your channel or not, but Simone will have a channel, I believe, coming out soon, right?
Yes, the channel's called Running That Mouth. It's up. I don't have any content on it right now, but it's coming.
Wonderful.
So I'm gonna go ahead and go out and close out now because I know everybody wants to go and run to see the last episode of Porsha. We'll see you guys next week for the next two.
If anybody's into your wine glasses being blinged out, or your name personalized, customized, tumblers, water bottle, I got all you need. Just Cups at Thick Girl on IG.
Repeat that because I didn't hear it.
I said Cups by Thick Girl on IG.
Cups by Thick Girl
Cups
on
by
IG.
Thick Girl.
Oh, you do blinged out like
Yes.
wine glasses.
Wine glasses. I do the sports bottles, the water bottles, tumblers, anything you need. You want it to be cute, I can make it.
Now that's surprising because I pegged you as a brown liquor girl.
I don't drink. And I used to be a white and brown girl. It depends on the day, but since I met the Lord, like Porsha,
right?
I just drag sober. That's all. I just drag people by just being sober because it's easy for her.
Well, DM me on Instagram and with your link, and I'll put it in the description of this video.
Okay, babe.
We support people over here.
Thank you, babe.
All right. Well, everybody say bye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Everybody.
Bye.
Bye.